You're listening to Procurement 6, the weekly podcast from the team at Art of Procurement that summarizes this week in procurement in just 6 short segments.
Hi there, I'm Kelly Barner, and today is Friday, January 5th, 2024.
6.
Happy New Year! Hopefully everyone had a safe, healthy, and restorative holiday break. I know the Art of Procurement team was all glad to be back together on January 2nd, although we did joke that it was a bit disorienting all coming back together after taking a break. While that can feel jarring, it is also an opportunity to look at the world around you with fresh eyes and clear thoughts. What new tasks or skills should you invest in? What old tasks should you allow to fall by the wayside? We're looking forward to another dynamic and no doubt surprising year of procurement and supply chain content and events in 2024.
5.
In this week's Art of Procurement podcast episode, we're sharing a session from Mastermind Live 2023. Dan French is the CEO at Consider Solutions, and he joined us for the opening session of the event to talk about how procurement can get out of reactive mode and instead focus on developing real influence and building undeniable value that no executive team or other area of the business will be able to discount. Let's listen to a segment.
We all have this desire to be appreciated and wanted, and in the world of business, a lot of that gets ignored. I mean, however great job you do, sometimes you don't get the thanks for it. You don't get the recognition. But I mean, I think the good news is, the bad news is nobody loves us. You're right. Nobody does love you. Nobody loves us. It's just the way it is at work. But the good news is it's not specific to procurement, right? Yeah. So everyone's got the same issue. And when you realize that, it does give you a slightly different perspective. Because then you realize these people you talk to, these stakeholders that are frustrating you with their lack of appreciation, have got exactly the same existential woes that we have. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of interesting. But
yeah, and there's no perfect way to measure impact and value, is there? Because I think about, you talked about marketing. Chief marketing officers being frustrated, and as a procurement person, you might look at marketing and say, marketing has all these wonderful things. They get to spend money and all the things that procurement professionals might like to spend in building their teams up. But at the end of the day, so much of what marketing does is really hard to attribute to the activities that they do, and sales are the ones that then get the rewards, let's say, or the kudos for when a customer or a prospect turns into a customer. So everyone has that journey. It's just a little bit different from what the individual story is, department to department.
Absolutely, it's a funny world. Yeah.
So does everyone feeling the same way actually contribute to a more level playing field in terms of collaboration, or should we look at it in that way?
I think it's interesting. I think the first thing, if we recognize and accept the fact that we're not alone in this feeling of slight lack of self-esteem about the role we're in, and realize everyone's in the same boat. And anybody who says they're not in the same boat probably suffers from a lack of EQ anyway. So you're one up, right? So the great news is, talk to everybody. If people don't even feel it, then they're missing the point, right? So it is reassuring to know we're not alone. And in a counterintuitive kind of way, it is good for our self-esteem to know that. So once you get rid of this idea that it's not me personally, it's life, right?
Yeah.
Then, that's pretty cool. That is okay. And you go, okay. And then it's just about how much value can I deliver? Or can my organization deliver? And we've just got to kind of make sure we avoid any sense of superiority about how important we are.
I love Dan's reminder that every function in the company feels underappreciated at times. I think that's only natural. What matters is how we respond to that feeling. Do we curl up in a ball and sulk? Or do we keep on keeping on and let our results speak for themselves? To listen to the full episode, go to artofprocurement.com/podcast or search for Art of Procurement and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. We'll also include a link in today's show notes.
4.
Every summer, we host Category Palooza, our annual summer festival of category insights. We've just released a paper summarizing the key takeaways from the event. They include mastering the complexities of individual spend categories, leveraging data for strategic decision-making, navigating global sourcing landscapes, and leading the charge towards sustainability. If you would like to download your copy of the paper or watch any or all of the sessions on demand, I will share links to both in today's show notes.
This is Procurement 6 from Art of Procurement. To get notified every time an episode is published, go to artofprocurement.com/subscribe. 3.
In the most recent episode of Dial P for Procurement, I did a 2023 year in review with your help. I went back to the beginning of the year to see which Dial P for Procurement episodes had the greatest number of downloads. And then I took some of the honorable mention episodes and ran a LinkedIn Pulse poll to see which one you thought best represented the general tone of 2023. I think what surprised me most was that social media pick. I don't know if the voters saw 2023 as the year of banking risk or just recognized the importance of regional banking to the health of the overall economy. But the collapse of Silicon Valley Bank was the social media pick for the story of the year, getting 45% of the vote. Check out the full episode on the Art of Procurement website or subscribe to the Dial P for Procurement podcast on all major audio platforms.
2.
People are often surprised to learn that we read, yes, we actually read, all of the emails you write us in response to our Monday and Friday newsletters. Every once in a while, we even get a piece of related content in return. I'd like to share one of those pieces with you. It is an article written by PJ Gamarano Sr. titled Procurement, Back to Basics, Problem-Solving Elements and Procedures and Steps. In the article, which is linked in today's show notes, he shares 2 lists. The first is a compilation of steps in general problem solving that are oriented towards procurement projects. And the second list is a timeless set of distinct steps that procurement might take from project inception to post-award activities. I think you'll find them handy, both as a review of procurement fundamentals and also as something to share with stakeholders or newer procurement team members. Big thanks to PJ Gamarano Sr. for sharing.
1.
Before I let you go, we have an upcoming event including a member of our team that you won't want to miss. On January 18th, Philip Eidson is joining the team from Procurement IQ for a webinar titled From Reactive to Proactive, Future-Proof Procurement. Phil and Fiona Adams from Procurement IQ will share practical approaches to proactive strategic sourcing that will empower procurement to become more efficient, resilient, and strategic in 2024. You can find the registration link in today's show notes.
Thanks for listening. We'll be back next Friday at 6 a.m. U.S. Eastern Time. If you've enjoyed this pod, help us grow and tell your peers to search for Procurement 6 wherever they get their podcasts.